Nigga play get hit like you. Don't bitch and you know ain't stupid. With a gang, you know we gon' shoot it. 4 and you know we riding. Don't bitch with a gang, I'm sliding. Nigga ain't too sweat, he dying. They know my pimp. You niggas a simp. High as the sky, I feel like a blimp. Getting my moves from half a zip. Green equals on blood, you crip. Being block, hanging off the hill. Niggas be pussy, we making it flip. Keep the money in the take a trip. Where we tryna go, bro? I don't know. Just get the money and stay afloat. This bitch, she luggage, yeah, like toe. Big ass Glock, where you real like a pole. Niggas, these bitches, I swear they hoes. Bitch broke my heart with my shit on froze. Tell the bitch I won't learn no more. Listening, yeah, gotta move real slow. Pass the bitch off, cause I pick and roll. Big Glock, nigga, it ain't no show. Lucy, yeah, they know gon' blow. Nigga play, get hit like Cupid. Don't bitch, you know ain't stupid. With a gang, you know we gon' shoot it. 4 and you know we riding. With a gang, you know we sliding. Sliding, man, ain't no other option. You feel me? The gang got my ties, we ain't divided, nigga. You know that we sliding, I'm never high. I pull up the choppers, you know it's fire. Me and the gang got my ties. Then me and the gang got my ties. I roll that boy up like a backwood. He ain't really on it, he act good. I'm smoking on dead off, it tastes good. Smoking on dead off, it tastes good. Put the smoke in the backpack. Got the crack in the knapsack. All the fiends really acting up. Put these niggas in the aqueduct. I'm trying to bounce out a big truck. My niggas, they bounce for big bucks. They bounce out and hit you in your head. He is back on the floor, let the boy dead. And if you get locked up, nigga, no interrogation. We ain't talking about, we ain't on that bullshit. Talking that shit, I'ma hit you with a silly. I pulled up, in the face, look good. Don't talk about money, cause you know we got money. I be drunk off fur, and I be looking at him. Hi to anyone joining. We should have Rere joining us fairly shortly. The invite has been sent. Just a little bit.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so glad that you could join our podcast today.
Yes, I am here.
Yes, we do have loads and loads of questions. Since we heard that you were joining, we did get a lot of questions, so I'm here for it today.
Perfect.
So how you feeling?
Smoking some weed today. So
Period. It's 420. We're gonna spark up too.
Yes.
Alrighty. So the first couple of questions that I do have for you are just, a couple of basic questions involving your background. So what made you get into dancing, like before the cabaret, just originally?
Well, I got into the industry because no 9-to-5 job would hire me. So and I applied to 30 different jobs and they're like, oh no, or they would just never send me a mail back because
Wow.
they're like, okay, well, no information on nothing. So I got into stripping when I was 18 years old.
Okay, and now that you have this public platform, have you heard anything back from some of those jobs that maybe you'd apply for?
No, still not.
Oh.
Still not to this day.
Okay, you said you were 18 when you got into dancing. And where did you learn your pole tricks?
I am self-trained. I taught myself.
Okay, that's great. And I know a lot of the girls that are, dancers were asking, if you don't mind sharing, where do you get your dancing outfits?
I'm gonna give them different places. Sometimes places have house moms that do dance outfits. And then sometimes I go to sex stores and boutiques.
Okay, so just a little bit of everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now kind of getting into the cabaret a little. I do want to ask, what initially did you expect, going onto the show?
Well, I mean, when you hear cabaret, it's more like, okay, kind of like more like dancing. I didn't
Right.
mind doing that, but I didn't know it was going to be a slip off from Bad Girls Club.
Right.
So I was
It
like,
was giving very much that.
because I was like, what is this? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, from rewatching, it definitely seems like you guys were in the van for like a whole 5 minutes before drama broke out. So it was just like Bad Girls Club kind of out of the gate, with the drama and, the arguments and things like that. And I did want to kind of ask you, I know that you stated before that, you did the Vegas video and, you guys weren't paid for that. I did want to know if anything had changed regarding that.
No.
Yikes. Alrighty then. Next question. I know that Amber said on a previous live, that you guys had a contract with Zeus and that you weren't being paid, how much was in your contract. Were you guys supposed to be paid for the show, the video, or both?
Okay, so we were paid for the show, but not enough adequately. They were trying to be as cheap as possible with it.
Okay.
The video, it was me, Alexi Blow, Lollipop, and Jordan, and none of us got paid for that video.
Okay. Okay, I do see a lot of people in the comments saying ask her about all the stuff Amber had to say. So I'm guessing Amber may have had some things to say. Do you have anything to say regarding that?
I mean, about as in what?
I'm not exactly sure. I just see a lot of the comments on the live that is stating, ask her about all the stuff Amber said. I'm guessing Amber did a live. I'm gonna go back and do some more research, of course, because I gathered as much tea as possible before this. So
Right.
I did want to ask, did you ever hear, like, see anything that maybe didn't align with you guys' contract, during the duration of filming?
I mean, it's like way things were like scripted. Like I feel like no, I don't, because I mean we never really got to read our contract when we first got on the show, so we didn't know anything of it.
And when you say you didn't get to read your contract, were they trying to fast track the contracts or?
Basically, because when I went on there, all I had was one page of the
Hmm.
contract, and it was just for signing. That's
Oh,
what I
wow.
remember when I first got on the show. It was just a one page. There was nothing really on it, and I just had to sign it. I was like, okay. It didn't go into any great details, lawyer details, or full contract details. I didn't get any of it.
Right. So all the tea that people are saying, you guys can't sue Joseline for 25 million because you signed the contract. You guys never saw that in your contract at
No,
all.
no.
Okay. And I did want to ask because I did also see that you stated previously that your friend was the one who kind of owned the house that you guys were in. How
Yes.
did Joseline get that connect?
Well, I don't know how she got the connect. I just know that my friend at the time was, a fan of Joseline's. So, I guess she probably heard something, Joseline looking for a place in Vegas, and probably saw that on her Instagram or somewhat, and been like, hey, I got a big ass house for you guys. We can use my place. That's what I think happened, really.
Right. And as of now, has that been paid for? Because I know previously you guys stated that, it hadn't been covered.
Like the house, they were cheap on the house. It was covered, but not like that. Like
Okay.
they really was being cheap with, because they Airbnb'd it out. That's my
Oh,
friend does Airbnbs, and it's an Airbnb house. It's like she has several properties like that, several. So it was probably seen on the Airbnb, and they wanted it more than likely.
okay. Yeah, I definitely get that. So, kind of going into the season, I want to kind of start in the first episode. I did see, you looked a little excited in the van, just kind of hyped to go into the house.
Yeah.
So what was your initial reaction to Miss Wet Wet?
Well, I smoked too much weed before I got on the bus, and thank God I did, or van, whatever you want to call it. Thank God I did, because I was sitting right next to her. I was high as fuck. I looked at her. I was like, what's going on? I was like, I don't understand this.
Very much so. Like, how are you guys beefing?
Huh?
Like, how are you guys beefing already?
Well, I'm like, when I meet new people, I'm kind of quiet. I like to get to understand people's vibes
Right.
and just, see how they act towards people. Honestly, there's a couple people that I liked right off the bat because they're honest and real.
Right.
So I don't know why that argument happened back and forth, but it wasn't really my situation.
Right. And what was your initial reaction to Miss Gaia? Because I know she was all in the back seat talking about robbing a rich white guy on the street corner. So
I was like, okay, what is going on here? I was like,
right.
someone had a little bit too much alcohol.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And how long did you guys exactly have to wait to get into the van, or not to get into the van, but to get into the house?
Well, we get there, and we get there, and we're supposed to go inside the house, and all of a sudden, the staff of Zeus comes out and says, we're gonna have to go to a hotel room tonight. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, oh, Joseline's throwing glass. So we didn't even get to go in on the first day. We went in on the second day.
Okay. So you guys weren't in there for the first night. You guys had to go in the prior day.
Yeah.
So the second day, or the second episode for us, was kind of, when the photo shoot situation kind of happened. And, how did you kind of feel about the way, Joseline addressed you guys at the photo shoot? And I know you especially, because she kind of pointed you out a little bit later in the season for kind of not speaking up.
Well, at the photo shoot, everything was kind of weird at the photo shoot, but honestly, after the fighting happened on the photo shoot, that was kind of crazy to me. I was like, okay, but I also wanted to break that up. And then Joseline coming in there and being like, you try me, you try me, you try me, you try me. I didn't think that was quite okay.
Right. And did they ever say why the glass was being thrown inside on the first night?
They said, the gist of what I got out of it was something happened between her and the crew she didn't approve of, and she got mad.
Okay. Okay. And kind of getting into, the cabaret and things, what was your initial reaction to having to clean the club that first night?
I didn't mind cleaning the club. The club that she got has been open in years. Oh. So, of course, it was dirty. It's the old library off of Boulder Highway. The old library. It was weird. But right. I didn't mind cleaning up it was pretty dusty and dirty anyways.
Yeah, you could kind of see that from the initial camera pan that they did. The windows and things look kind of dusty there. So I definitely saw that in there. And speaking before, I know you said a few of the beats were scripted. Outside of the Wet and Cake Capri situation, are there any other, beats or anything that you can confirm were scripted on the show or anything?
Not really, but I just feel like I can say a couple of them I felt that were like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first the Cake Capri, and then the Raven and Diamond thing with Amber. I think that was very much scripted. And then Lollipop and her just talking about everybody. I think that was mostly scripted too. I just think it was just more.
Yeah. I know a lot of people felt like the Amber and Chanel beef was kind of scripted, because it wasn't really, kind of doing too much there. But I just wanted to kind of ask that. And were there any off-camera scenes that fans should know about?
Honestly, they're like off-camera. Everything was a lot more calm. Honestly, there was no trying to fight or anything like that. People just kept to themselves and just went their own ways. That's why I say a lot of it that I've seen feels scripted to me because everyone's a lot different off camera.
Right. So basically, all the beef and stuff was just, for camera and things like that.
The reason why they wanted that, because they wanted more viewers, and I think most likely it was Zeus trying to get into people's heads, because they try to tell me, like Zeus themselves try to tell me, like, oh, you gotta give us more action or we're gonna kick you off the show. So we want you to fight your roommate. And I'm like, no. I ran to my roommate really fast, and I was like, they're trying to get me to fight you.
Right. It's giving weird.
They were trying to get me to do something, and I'm like, dude, that's scripted. You can't do that to me. Like, if I don't want to fight this person, I'm not going to fight this person. Right. But what I am going to do is go there to do what I wanted to do, was be in the cabaret. I was not into all the other shit.
Right. So, later on in the season, when you guys had to, audition for that first night in the cabaret, what were the emotions that were, kind of going through you at that point?
Well, I kind of knew I had more of a one-up under my sleeve.
Period.
Because of, knowing what I knew and how to do pole work and how to make it look like an art. Like, I already knew I kind of had it in the bag.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I saw the other girls, they were kind of watching you like, oh, yeah, we got to definitely watch out for her. And, yeah, you were very quiet. And then when you got on the pole, it was just like a whole other person. They were just like, oh, okay. So she can actually dance.
I can speak louder than words ever could with my actions.
As you should. As you should. So what exactly was the fire trick that you did in the cabaret? The cameras kind of blocked that out. So just for the people that may not know about that.
I play with matches. So it's like a matchbook look. And basically you rip one and you lick it and then you stick it. So I'm not really lighting my body on fire, but I'm using a match to make it seem like I am.
Right. Okay. Get that. And it was very cool to watch. I know we weren't able to see the full thing, but, from what we saw with the tatas, it was definitely giving in that episode.
Yeah.
So how exactly were you feeling in the moment that you were picked, as the first girl, and you also danced all 3 nights? So
well, I was also humble about it, though. Even though I already knew I had a guaranteed spot, I also knew that I had to be humble about it. But I was excited, for the first part. Yes, I was very excited for it.
Okay. And what exactly happened with that backstage thing with the money and that episode where you guys were stripping in the first night of the cabaret? Lexi Blow and Lollipop kind of got into it over some of the money. What happened with that?
Well, honestly, like Lollipop wanting her other money, I think it was based off of people weren't throwing money at her. And, Lexi Blow and me on the first night, Joseline already said, the names I heard the most was Lexi Blow and Rere.
Right.
I think like she had a problem with that, and she kind of got jealous. I don't think it was really about the money. I think it was just about everything else.
And that's what it was giving in the episode, in the confessional. It was giving, it wasn't about the money. Definitely. But outside of that, how was it performing in the cabaret?
Performing in the cabaret was fun. It was fun. It was good. Look, it was, a fantastic time. It was going up from there.
It was so fun.
It was and a lot of fun.
How was that pool party? I know that, and the brunch you guys had seemed like a few of the non-dramatic moments that you guys had in the season, but they did look like some of the funner moments. So how were those?
I mean, they were fun. We all enjoyed having fun that day, but I don't think that really like stopped anything really from beefing or anyone. And I feel like Joseline was just doing that just to keep the peace. I mean, that's one good thing.
And speaking of the pool party, did you eat Amber's food?
I mean, I ate Amber's food, but I got like the last of the food. Honestly, everyone else just munched down. Because we're the last people to eat on the TV show. Like on Zeus, they were eating before us. Production was eating before us. And that was weird. It's like, we're the ladies, we're, the cast, we should be eating first before you.
Right. Yeah, I
And they did
definitely
that the
understand
whole
that.
time.
So the whole duration of the show, you guys had to eat after production and
Yeah.
stuff ate? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Speaking of, meal prep and cooking at home, what other freedoms did you guys have? Because in the pool episode, it sounded like you guys weren't even really allowed to be in the pool without permission and things like that. And, I just wanted to ask a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was really weird because we asked to use the pool beforehand, before that, even the episode. And she's like, no one's allowed in the pool.
So even after you guys went into the pool that day, were you guys still restricted from using the pool?
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys, I know you said earlier that you weren't able to really have guests over or anything like that as well, right?
Yep.
Yikes, I could not imagine staying somewhere like that at all.
Yeah.
And speaking of the cabaret, do you personally feel like Diamond and Raven went into you guys, things and sabotaged it? I know Amber was saying her dress was messed up, and Henny was saying a few of her things were broken as well.
I don't know who honestly did it, but I have a funny feeling that it was one of the cast members was told to do that and make someone else get blamed.
Right.
Because the way the cast was making us pretend fight scripted, but it was actually a real fight. I just feel like they were trying to make everything else scripted so they could have another fight between Amber and Henny and Raven and Diamond. They were trying to see if they would fight each other.
Bring in as much drama as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get that. And outside of that particular moment, did anything else come up damaged or missing in the house?
I believe it was shorts, glasses, some lingerie, a few other things that disappeared from their room.
Did anything come up like after the season was over?
No.
Wow. Okay. And I did see in the super trailer, it looked like Joseline and Amber had a moment where they may have gotten into an altercation.
Yeah.
What happened with that, and why did they edit that out of the episode?
Well, I can't really speak. And you're asking about the reunion, right?
Well, in one of the earlier episodes, like the super trailer for, the beginning of the season kind of showed that Amber and Joseline may have gotten into a fight on the same night that she threw the treats or threw the apples at Chanel.
Oh, that night? Okay, so that night is basically they got into a fight because she touched Joseline's shoulder and she didn't like that and she kind of flipped out.
So do you guys know why they edited that part out of the episode, or?
I do not know why, honestly.
Okay. And, how was that practice for the final night at the cabaret? I know it seemed a little stressful. It seemed like you guys may have had a lot on your mind then.
The final night of the cabaret, it was, a lot of us were just tired, honestly.
Yeah, I definitely get that. It looked like you guys were working hard out there. I know Raven said in one of the episodes, like, you're going to be sweating a lot. That's what she told Diamond to expect out the gate. And how was the final night's performance for the cabaret?
It was fun. There wasn't as many people there that there were there the first night, though, honestly.
Okay. And I did want to know, why didn't you end up on the cabaret tour?
Why I didn't?
Yes.
I do not know why. I think maybe because I wasn't following her directions and basically trying to fight K Capri. I guess that was gonna solidify me a spot, I guess. I don't know. It was kind of weird. I was just like, whatever. If you don't want me on tour, you don't want me on tour. But I'm basically next to the best pole dancer here that you got.
And did they even try to contact you regarding going on tour after the show? Okay.
No.
And if you could go back, would you do anything differently in the house, or would you, still go on the show?
I would still go on the show. I'll just The only thing that I would change is just me speaking up, and that'll be it.
Right, very much so. Yeah, because it did seem like she may have been kind of, verbally attacking you guys at some point. So I would definitely, always here for someone speaking up for themselves in regards to that. And I know that you guys can't give us much information regarding the case, but I did want to ask, is there anything that you can give us in regards to updates?
No, there is nothing I have or know of right now because I don't really speak to anyone, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm just sitting here. I can't say anything, can't talk about it.
Okay. And on the reunion, there are a couple of rumors that Joseline and Ballistic were on drugs at the reunion. Were there ever any drugs and stuff shown in the house outside of weed, of course?
Well, no one really did any drugs. I had weed with me, but that's about it. I was a major pothead.
Okay. And before the reunion, were you aware of like any type of animosity anybody or any of the cast members may have had towards you?
I mean, if I had a problem with somebody, I would basically squash it right then and there, even if I am or am not in the wrong. I just don't want to
Right.
be. I'm not about being in drama. I really don't care for it. Like, I got bigger fish to fry.
I definitely understand that. And I heard in an earlier interview that when Jocelyn attacked you, that it was some of her minions as well. And in the super trailer, it kind of showed that Diamond may have been one of them. Who were the other two?
I can't say.
Oh, okay, okay. And I know you said earlier that Ballistic and Amber had their issues. Are you able to speak any on that, just regarding if there were any prior issues with Ballistic in the house at all?
I don't know if they had any issues, and he was barely there.
So there was just no prior animosity towards you guys with Ballistic or anything like that before the reunion?
No.
Okay. And what do you believe is holding up the reunion? Because I did see that Jocelyn performed at Lumel's party, his birthday party. She was, performing "Do It Like It Shall Be" Day. So I just wanted to know, like, maybe do you have any clue, or have you guys gotten any notification on maybe when the reunion will be airing?
No. I
Gosh.
don't know a date for it, honestly.
Okay. Are you still friends with any of the cast members, any of the girls?
I mean, I'm friends with Kay, Capri, Henny, Amber, and Lexi.
Okay. And since the show, have you gotten like any more, casting opportunities or casting calls and things like that?
Nothing majorly right now. I'm kind of focused on being in my own lane here. So I'm doing music and I'm trying to come up with my own pilot.
Okay, you're doing music. Do you have any, dates for anything that will be releasing soon?
I'm working on a song right now. So it'll be more than a chorus. It'll be like a verse and a chorus. And then I'm also working on my own pilot for my own show. So.
Okay. And do you have any information to give us regarding that?
Nothing so far, but it's in the works.
Okay. One of the people in the comments want to know, did Ballistic ever try and flirt with you guys in the house?
He was never really in the house, so no.
Okay. So in the future, we could definitely expect to be, seeing some music from you, your own show.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what network you may be going to, or?
Not right now.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, I have enjoyed talking with you. Those are all the questions that I do have currently. But you guys, make sure to tune in. Next week, we will have Miss Huckleberry from Batty's Collection. So make sure that you do tune in there. And it was great talking to you.
Thank you.